Hey guys, I'm a Dimension Jumper. Today I'm doing my top 5 favourite games of 2022. Now, last week's video I did a video talking about some of my games, some of the games I'm excited for next year that are going to be released. And I thought maybe for this week I could talk about a video, just talking about some of my favourite video games that were released this year. And it's going to be the same like last week. It's going to be the same thing where I'm going to be talking about some of the games that I've experienced personally over the course of this year that I found to have some fun with, whether it's the gameplay, the story, somewhere in between, and just talk about them for a bit. And then so for number 5 is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, with this game, there was obviously the whole thing with it when it came to the bugs and stuff, and I did experience some of those bugs and glitches, but not to a whole lot of an extent. I think with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet there are some nice features to it, like mainly because it's taking some concepts from Pokemon Legends Arceus a bit, in terms of that you can have some auto battles here and there. You can find a whole bunch of Pokemon in the wild, that kind of thing, and with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I think that it has some nice elements to it, and it's just maybe if it had a bit longer to maybe polish off some of those parts, and just polish it a bit off, then maybe it could be cool. I still have enjoyed Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I think it's a really interesting way of playing Pokemon, because even though it's different, there are some different elements to it, like the whole Team Star battling them and battling their bases, as well as the Titan Pokemon. I think that's a really interesting concept to bring into the Pokemon games, and I do really enjoy the whole crystallization or whatever it is where the Pokemon become a different type, which I think is a really cool feature. But as we all know, that kind of thing will probably only appear in one game and never make a reference to it again in future games. So for number 4 is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Now, I think this is a really interesting game because it's basically just every single Star Wars movie from the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and the new trilogy. And I think this does a nice job of balancing the movies with putting them into a video game format, because it does have a lot of a lot of scenes, and takes a lot of and a lot of the levels take inspiration from a lot of the scenes and stuff from the films. And I think the humour in this one is quite interesting. I do enjoy a lot of the humour in this game. The only thing is, I think it's okay. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy a lot of the things. It feels maybe a bit too ambitious, maybe a bit too big. Mainly because I think it has a lot of things to juggle with. I think some of the elements has done well. I feel like maybe it's just I don't know really, because it has some elements that I do enjoy, some elements that I'm not a big fan of here and there. But maybe I don't know, because it's cool, but it's fine. I do enjoy all of the space fights. I think those are cool. I do, even though after a few times when first playing the game, I did experience some kind of motion sickness when playing them. I think that there's some elements they're okay. Like with the Emperor, whenever the Emperor was on screen, and I think it was towards the end of each trilogy, he would summon lightning from his hands, but it was those fake lightning Lego parts that you can build onto a specific person or background piece of if you've got a Lego building or something. But then he'll just do the whole main lightning Yeah, that was fun for a bit, and it's not as funny now as I would seem as think. So yeah, but I do really enjoy a lot of what the game has to offer. I do enjoy the whole open world thing, in a sense, because you can basically just go to any of the galaxies and go to any of the planets, and it's still quite enjoyable. So yeah. For number 3, it's Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, out of the Pokemon games that we received, that being Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus, I do enjoy a lot of what Arceus has to offer, mainly because it was like a whole open world. It's like the first Pokemon open world experience type of thing, and I do enjoy a lot of what it has to offer. Like, I do enjoy how we see this old version of the Sinnoh region, and how we got to see a lot of the characters that we saw from Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, and how we got to see their distant ancestors, ancestors, and I think it's a really interesting way of playing the game, and I do enjoy how I do enjoy how you interact with this world. Like, this game is not about becoming champion or collecting 8 badges. It's just exploring the world and filling out the first Pokédex in I believe in Sinnoh, or the world. I think it's Sinnoh, before it became Sinnoh, and that's a really interesting way of playing the game, because it feels so refreshing, because the Pokédex in the entire Pokemon series is just the Pokédex. You don't really think about it too much unless you want to go for 100% and getting every single Pokemon in the game. And I do like the way how you fill out the Pokédex, and how you can get different Pokemon entries, like whether it's capturing a certain amount of Pokemon, or seeing them use a specific move, or evolving them a specific amount of times. I think that's a really interesting way of filling out a Pokédex, and it makes you filling out the decks really fun and interesting, instead of just you catching particular Pokemon and just moving on to the next area to catch more Pokemon for your team or whatever. And yeah, I do like how you can see, and I really do like how they're bringing old Pokemon from previous generations into this game. Like, for example, the starters, is that being Rowlet, Oshawott, and Cyndaquil, because they're not really starters you would think when you think of Sinnoh. We'll probably more think of them from their own games, from Gen 2, 5, and 7. And yeah, I think it's a really fun way of experiencing the Pokemon series, and just having fun with filling out the Pokédex in this game's own unique way. For number 2 is Horizon Forbidden West. Now, this is a game that I really do enjoy. I think it's a nice continuation from the end of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I think it's at the start of the game, it does have a nice way of talking about the previous game, and how and where Aloy has been since the events of the first game. And I do enjoy a lot of the things that this game has to offer. It's like more of an open, because like, instead of just being in one specific area, you're moving towards I believe San Francisco, but it's in the distant future, and everything is just machines and stuff. And yeah, I still really enjoy this sort of futuristic dystopia where everything has been overgrown. There's talks about memories of the past, of the scientists, and that they're trying to save the world. And yeah, it's just so unique. And it's, even though we have seen dystopian future games, movies, TV shows, books on the future before, and where it's like, oh, it's just the future, but it's all robotic, or it's all just the same as now. But with Horizon Forbidden West, it takes it that much further, and in terms of like, we get to see old and new characters, we get to see new types of enemies, new types of machines, and that's really interesting and so unique that even though it's part of the same sort of formula of, oh, it's in the future, it feels so fresh and new that I don't really mind this, because it feels fun to just have a go in around this future where it could happen, and it makes you feel like this could possibly happen. But it's so enjoyable because I do get to enjoy just interacting with all these different characters and all these different tribes with all of their different customs and routines and defenses and stuff like that. And it's just so interesting of just playing through the game. And yeah, I just really enjoy this continuation from the previous game. And for number 1 is God of War Ragnarok. Now, what I enjoy about God of War Ragnarok is that it's a nice continuation from the 2018 game, and I really do enjoy a lot of the things that this game brings to the table. Like, I do enjoy going through the realms, so like some of the old ones from the previous game, as well as some of the new ones. And I do like how each realm is affected by Ragnarok in some sense. Like, Midgard is in winter. One of the new realms is sort of has, like, you know, I don't know how to explain it. Acid, I would say, or something like that. Or fissures opening up and just making chaos everywhere. And I think that will make that's one of the things that makes this game really interesting, because it expands on the world from the previous game, as well as it continues on the legacy of the other games as a whole. And with Ragnarok, I really do enjoy a lot of the characters in this game, like Kratos and Atreus, as well as Mimir. I think those guys really bounce off each other really well. I do enjoy the things with Thor. I think he's an interesting character, and as well as Odin. I think Odin is probably one of the most interesting villains in the series and in the game as well, because he has like this sort of mystery towards him, because you don't really know what he's going to be doing. And I also enjoy how he can be seen as the sort of calm 1 minute, and then sort of relentless the next, because he doesn't seem evil. Even though he is evil, he doesn't seem evil. It feels like his intentions are right, but they are wrong overall. And I really do enjoy everything that Odin is in, just because of his voice. I think the actor who got to play Odin plays him really well, and just makes him that much more menacing in a sense. And he's just a really interesting character to follow throughout the game. And it's really, and I think it's really fun. And when it comes to like a lot of the stuff you can do, like the traversal across the realms, the use of your Leviathan axe and your Blade of Chaos, as well as some new items that you get to use, which I won't spoil. But I do enjoy a lot of the things that this game has to offer, and I do enjoy how you get to fight new enemies as well, instead of just you fighting against the same Draugr for 100 times and stuff like that. And it's just a really interesting way of continuing this series, and I really do hope that we do get to see some new God of War games maybe in the future. I'm not 100% sure if there could be another game. There might not be, but I'm really sure, or I hope that there's another God of War game. So that's been my top 5 favourite games of 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.